speaking of a virus that won't go away, Keir Starmer at PMQs today, he was destroyed, I thought, by Kemi Badenoch.
He can't cope with it. His credibility is entirely gone. He must know that he's universally loathed by the people of this country now. He must also know he's universally loathed by most of his MPs in his cabinet.
He's lost power now.
All of this to cling on to a job title. You know, it is pathetic. You have to question what's going on in his head, because he is dead man walking. It's finished for him. It's over.
Hello and welcome to today's Daily Expresso. As always on a Wednesday, I, JJ Anisiobi, am joined by Carole, Malone, Carole.
Is that going to be? That's going to be my tagline.
That's your tagline, my Carole.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. Well, I know I'm not good actually. I've got a bit of a chest infection, but you know, I don't suppose you're bothered about that.
I'm not bothered about that.
But I have, and I'm not very well. But like the strong woman I am, I carry on.
You haven't moaned about your chest infection at all.
I haven't moaned about it, no. I've just told you, made a statement of fact that I have one.
You can ask
and
how I
I'm
am?
very much hoping now I give it to you. So there you go.
I gave you a cold just before Christmas, I think.
You did give me a cold just before Christmas. That was just nicely in time for all the
you.
parties and whatever. So
Wonderful.
I'm kind of hoping I can return the favour.
Well, speaking of a virus that won't go away, Keir Starmer.
Yes.
Yes. At PMQs today, he was destroyed, I thought, by Kemi Badenoch. She did really well.
It's happening more and more often now, isn't it? I mean, she's doing it, you know, with fantastic regularity. I love it. He can't, and the thing is, you know, you can see that he can't cope with it. And that is not a good look for a Prime Minister. It's kind of when their credibility drains away, although I don't know how many times I'm going to say that about Starmer, because I say that every week. His credibility is entirely gone. But she particularly had to go at him today about why he shussed and why he appointed Matthew Doyle, who'd been suspended over his links with a convicted paedophile, an ex-councillor called Sean Morton. And he wouldn't answer it. In fact, he answered none of her questions at all.
He didn't answer a single one.
No,
He kept
just
deflecting.
kept batting her off the whole time.
Yeah.
And, you know, for him to imagine that we don't get that, we don't see what that means, it just says what a foolish man he is. I don't really know how he can stand up in PMQs now, especially after the week we've just had in politics.
Yeah.
I don't know how he can show his face. And yet he has said this week, has he not, I will not walk away from the mandate I was given by the people of this country. Well, he has walked away from it. He hasn't fulfilled a single thing that he said he was going to do. He was going to stop the votes. He was going to clean up the sleaze in politics. He was going to cut benefits. He's done none of these things.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what mandate he thinks he's following, because it's not the one the British people elected him on. He's reneged on every single promise he ever made. And I just think, you know, his credibility is shot now. But it is clear that he's not going to walk away. And you wonder why he wants to stay. He must know that he's universally loathed by the people of this country now. He must also know he's universally loathed by most of his MPs in his cabinet, even though they were ordered this week to back him. I mean, what a shallow load of hypocrites they are. You know, you look at that lot. You know that people like Angela Rayner and Wes Streeting, you know, they're on manoeuvres to get the top job, and yet there they were rallying around him this week, saying, "We back the Prime Minister." No, you don't. You don't back him at all. You hate him. You cannot wait to take his job. And the only reason they're backing him is because they're not ready to make their move quite yet. They haven't got all their ducks in a row, so they don't want to be out of the traps just yet. So that's what they're doing. But when we have politicians who do that, when they lie in that way, how can we trust any of them to be our next Prime Minister? We've got Rayner and Streeting saying, back Starmer. They hate him. They want him gone. Yeah. And watch them when they make their move, whether that's going to be, it could be after the Gorton and Denton election. It could be after the May elections. It could be tomorrow. Something could happen tomorrow to set it off. But watch them tear them limb from limb when they do make their move. And this is the guy they're saying this week, we need to get back our Prime Minister. We need to get our strategy right and whatever. So I just don't know how he can get up every day. I don't know how he can say he wants to keep on doing a job that he's clearly hopeless at.
He's lost power now. He's a prisoner in his own party, because apparently he's now going to turn the party super left to appease all those people who've come out and backed him. So he's going to push through quickly the voting age to 16.
Oh.
Yeah, unemployable. Anything and everything to support Rayner, Streeting, Crazy Ed Miliband. Even Andy Burnham is giving him a shopping list of priorities, and Starmer's going to be like, yes.
And all of this to cling on to a job title, it is pathetic. And all the MPs who backed him this week, who clearly hate him as well, they're doing what they're doing to hang on to their salary, their bloated expense account, their ministerial cause, the life they have as MPs and ministers. All of that is about self-interest. It's not about the British people. It's not about this country. It's all what they want and need for themselves. And that's what makes me so... It's not even sad about this government. I mean, I don't think I've ever known a government as bad as this. In all my working life, I've never known a government as bad as this. But what was it he said the other day, Starmer? He said, I've never lost a fight. He's never been in a fight. He couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag, this guy. I've never lost a fight. It's big talk from a very small-minded politician. And the fact he doesn't see he's dead man walking, you have to question his sanity, really. You have to question what's going on in his head, because he is dead man walking. It's finished for him. It's over. It's not a question of if anymore, it's
when.
Yes.
You say this is the worst government you've ever known in your lifetime. Is this worse than JFK's government for you? Is this worse than Abraham Lincoln's government? Is this worse than the Pharisees and Sadducees of Jesus' day?
I thought we'd got through the ageism
Barabbas,
thing for the first
Barabbas.
5 minutes.
We want Barabbas.
Yes,
it's worse than those people.
Yes. The thing is, if you're still working when you're my age, you'll be very lucky. But I'm not entirely sure you will be. I've just seen Angela Rippon now in a TV studio. 81, fabulous.
She looks great for age, Angela
She looks
Rippon.
amazing.
Yeah.
She looks amazing.
Did you ask what her secret was?
Well, no, I just said to her, "You look amazing," and she was. I mean, I got this close to her. Skin is fantastic.
Flawless.
She looks younger than me.
She's aging well.
She's doing more than that, and she's fit. She's straight backed. Anyway, we digress.
Things are bad when Ed Davey is laying into you and people are applauding.
Well, at least it's got Davey off Farage. I mean, Davey he can't seem to utter a word that doesn't have Nigel or Farage in it. So at least he's got him off that. Ed Davey's a buffoon. I don't know why anyone listens to a word he says. Although it's terrifying because, come the next election, if people don't turn out and if the two rights, if the Tories and Reform don't do a pact, we may get Ed Davey and the Greens in one form or another, which is, if you think Starmer's terrifying, just cast your mind to that. And in between that, maybe having Angela Rayner as Prime Minister. I mean, can you just imagine? Do you know, 10 years ago, people, if you'd said that Angela Rayner could be the next Prime Minister of this country, people would have laughed their socks off. They would have said, don't be ridiculous. This woman who... I mean, it might sound like a snobbery here, but it's not. She's just not clever enough to be Prime Minister.
I don't know if that's true.
It is absolutely true. And it's not just because she left school without an O-level. It's not that at all. It's because she knows nothing about economics. She knows nothing about foreign affairs. A question about any government policy in depth, she can't do it. She's also pretty vulgar, I think, and also dodgy. You can't have a prime minister who dodged 40 grand of stamp duty. I'm sorry, you can't, and still hasn't paid it back. Let me add. There's lots of things that have happened with Rayner over the years. There was questions over her living arrangements between 2010 and 2015, and had she paid enough tax on her council house at that point? So there was lots of... And if she gets to be PM, watch them dig stuff on her then. I mean, the papers will be relentless.
But at least she's not appointing paedophile supporters into the cabinet. That's
there is that yet. But, this is she's one of those typical working class people who hate the rich and always ranting about hating the rich, and yet don't seem to have any qualms about dipping their snouts in the trough when it comes along. I mean, Angela likes the freebie, as we've seen. Free clothes from Lord Ali, free trips to his New York apartment. She likes a freebie.
Well, let's move on. Fergie's fighting back. So she was on a ski holiday in the Alps with her friends. That's how rich people do. She then went to Qatar to stay with her daughter.
Yes.
Attend some art fairs.
Yes.
Now she's living in Dubai apparently,
Yes.
and she's looking for a new PR team because she has told friends, "I've got to make money."
You know, Fergie has. There have been some embarrassing situations with Fergie in the past, and I've covered some of them, like the one where she was set up by the fake sheikh and asked them to pay 500 grand into a bank account for access to Andrew. There have been some embarrassing things with Fergie. However, I think her association with Epstein is her reputational Waterloo, if you like, because I don't think she realises, because she's been away on her travels, as you just listed, I don't think she realises the response of the people of this country to that. I think she's probably thinking, oh, I've been in some scrapes before, I can weather the storm here. But no, this is about a convicted paedophile who she regularly asked for money from, nay, begged for money. And she, the man who she said was her supreme friend, even after he'd been convicted of paedophile offences. But my problem with her is she once said when she was on the opera show, she said, "I'm an idiotic, stupid woman," because I think she thought that saying that would, if you say I'm stupid, people excuse you lots of things, and they think you're being, but you can't take cover behind saying something like I'm stupid. You can't take cover behind that when you're associating with a paedophile. And every charity has dropped her. Her publishing company have dropped her. Her books aren't being published anymore.
Yeah.
But what she has said to people is that she has to get back to work and she has to make money. And that is a fact, and that is true. She has no money. So she is going to become, this is the terrifying thing, the royal family now, we know, are in trouble because of Andrew. Everywhere they go, walk about, they're jeered, they're booed. There's nothing to do with them, but they are jeered because of Andrew. Now, Fergie could become a loose cannon, I fear, because if she has to start doing interviews and chats with people, and she will charge them money, of course, she is likely to say something terrible. She's likely to say something that could incriminate Andrew, the royal family, whatever. So if they really want to keep her under control, they need to look after her. It's looking to me like they've just disowned her and said, get lost. Well, you can't do that with someone like Fergie, because how is she going to live? She's actually said to people she has to put some distance between her and Andrew, but she has to do so much more than that. I don't think there's a way back for her from this. But she seems to think if she just separates herself from him, she wants to stay in Windsor and get herself a place there. How is she going to get a place? She has no means of income. She has no money. So I think she could become a weapon, a very dangerous weapon that would be used against the royal family. They need to sort it out. They need to sort her out.
Well, here's what she's done in her career thus far. Before becoming a royal, she worked in PR and publishing. Then she got married to Andrew and had a long-term role as a Weight Watchers spokesperson.
Yes.
She authored numerous books, kids' books. She can't do that anymore. No one's going to buy kids' books from someone who is bezies with a paedophile.
The thing about her, I mean, I've interviewed her a few times in my life, and you can't hate her because she is a grafter. Do you know what I mean? She does work. And when she got divorced from Andrew, I think they gave her, it was a pitiful settlement. I can't remember. It was nothing. She did seek out work. Okay, some of it embarrassed the royal family, like the Weight Watchers thing. But, she earned millions from that. I mean, she spent millions, but she earned millions. And then she went into the books, and then she went into some kind of, mind nonsense. And I remember meeting her, and she was late. She was behaving in a very entitled way, and we'd got a lot of clothes for her and whatever. She was faffing around. And I just said to her in the end, I'm going. She said, I beg your pardon? I said, I'm leaving because this is silly. You're messing about and you're not going to sit and talk. So I'm off. I said, thanks. She went, well, you can't. I said, well, I can. I said, my editor would tell me I absolutely can. And she went, hang on. So she did the interview. And at the end of it, she said to me, I need someone like you in my life. I need someone like you to tell me what to do and when I'm doing wrong. And I said, no, you really don't. You just need to grow up a little bit. Anyway, she kept in touch with me for quite a long time afterwards. But what that made me realise, the fact she wanted me to be her friend, was that she didn't have many. I mean, it made me feel a bit sorry for her because I felt she was quite lonely. And remember all those years, every major occasion, her daughters weren't with her. They were with the royal family up at the palace or, in Sandringham or whatever. So she grew up, she adores her daughters, but even they now are suffering because of her and Andrew. Apparently, their name is being left off charity invites. They're being left. They're being banned from red carpet events, or because of their association. And that is really upsetting her. But if she really thinks she can come back and reinvent herself from this, I think she's sadly mistaken. And it's very sad. She's a 66-year-old woman now with no home, no money, no prospects. And an idiot ex-husband who she did stand loyally by for years, but you have to ask yourself now why. And it was because it gave her access to very rich, very powerful, very corrupt people who looked after her financially. So, now we know.
Well, I think, as you say, she's delusional. But I'm very interested to hear that. I think Ferg's probably the only person in the world who's ever said, I need Carole Malone in my life. First and last. What a world exclusive.
No, funnily enough, no, she's not. But it did make me realise that, when you're asking a journalist to be your friend, who you've only met half an hour ago, it's not a good look, really.
But it's because you're so charming and warm, Carole.
Well, there is
That's
that.
what it is.
There is that.
That's what
I
it
am
is.
charming and warm, except to you, obviously, who don't deserve my charm or my warmth. But anyway, that's by the by.
Right, so tell me, Carole, about this Tesco boss saying the UK is sleepwalking into a quiet epidemic.
Yeah, this is a guy called Ashwin Prasad who said that, and he's absolutely right. We are sleepwalking into joblessness. We have 9 million people currently in this country who are, what's the expression? They're economically inactive. That means they can't be bothered to work or they don't want to work. We have 6.5 million people who are on out-of-work benefits. We have 1.3 million people aged between 16 and 32 who are classed as disabled because they suffer from anxiety and mood disorders. And if it sounds like I'm taking the mickey, I am a bit. Because you can't. This has doubled in the past 5 years. These numbers have doubled. And please don't tell me the kids of today, the young people of today, have a harder time than young people 30 years ago, because it's simply not true. It just is not true. We've got, every day since Labour have got into power, 250 people have signed up for benefits because of their moods and their anxiety. It's a lot of people.
250 people every day.
Every single day since Labour got into power in the however many months that is.
Yeah.
Thing. And we've got 633,000 people claiming PIP. The numbers of people claiming universal credit have doubled. It's not on. It's shameful statistics for this country. And we have more people now on out-of-work benefits than we did during the peak of COVID in 2020. How can that be? Tell me. I'm just sick of people saying they're depressed and they can't work. Yes, you can work. People have worked for decades when they're a bit fed up and they're a bit depressed. When you have real, crippling, debilitating depression, no, you can't work. But that is not the majority of people who are now on benefits.
Yeah.
And what people have realised now is that they will go on benefits because it is better for them financially than it is to go out and earn the average wage, which is about, 21.5 grand, 22 grand. So if they can get 23, 24 grand on benefits, I don't blame them for doing that. If that was me, maybe I would do it too. I don't know. I'd like to think I wouldn't, because I like to think I have a work ethic. But, if you're slogging your guts out in a a supermarket or something, and you can get more by staying at home, well, why wouldn't you?
It makes sense.
But we have a government that this is supposed to be the government for working people, but it's become the government it's become a government that wants to make people dependent on the state. It makes it easy for people to be dependent on the state. Benefits were always only supposed to be about giving people a helping hand in at a bad time in their lives. But now you can sign on. In fact, you don't have to sign on email. That's the other thing. If you get a sick note now, which now a lot of people are taking the mick and calling it a fit note, that's you. You can then live a life on the back of the taxpayer. Because in my day, and probably in yours as well, actually, I mean, I know you like to think there are eons between us, but there are not. You would have to go in every week and sign on. And you'd have to go to the job centre every week and sign. You don't have to do that anymore.
Really?
You just get your sick note and then and you just merge into the system and they just pay you.
Because it used to be a case of, you'd have a little booklet, you had to go every week and show them that you've been applying for jobs and these jobs you applied for, yada, yada. So that's all gone now.
Well, you get the sick note, and you just keep your head down, and you're not likely to be bothered because nothing works, nothing joins up in this country anymore, and you can just live a nice life on the back of taxpayers.
I was just saying this to Lee Anderson last week, that when I was a kid on a working class council estate, the people who didn't work and on benefits, they were shamed.
They were shamed.
It was embarrassing to be that family who neither parent worked.
Completely. And my dad, I remember there was one time in my dad's life when he was out of work for 6 weeks. And we had very little money. My mum had 2 jobs going. My dad had a job, and he was a singer, so he used to sing at night time, trying to earn a few bob in the clubs and stuff. And I remember he didn't have a job, and my mum said, "You will have to claim benefits." And my dad said, "I can't." And my mum said, "You have to." He said, "I can't do it." The shame of it. And in the end, he was on benefits for a month. And he said to me, "That will never happen to me again. Whatever happens, if I have to sweep a street, that's what I'll do." It was a source of shame to him.
Yeah.
And and I don't know about you, but I've never claimed a penny benefits in my life. I mean, yes, I use the National Health, but we'll pay for that inadvertently. But I've never claimed benefits, ever. That doesn't mean I'm a hero. It just means it wouldn't occur to me. Whereas I think these days, it does occur to young people. They think, working in Costa is a bit hard. I don't like it. I'm a bit fed up. I'm not doing this. And they can say that, and they can stay at home and get paid. That shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, totally agree. Right, final news item, Kaz. Men and colds. I got a feeling you're going to get on your soapbox and tell me that women have got it the worst and men just exaggerate when they've got a cold, when that's not the case at all. When a man has a cold, it's man flu. You have no idea how painful that is.
You don't realise that man flu...
You don't know how debilitating man flu is.
You don't realise that man flu is a derogatory term for softies like yourself.
Excuse me.
That's exactly what it is. No, this YouGov poll, it says that men are slightly more likely than women to say they can personally handle a cold. Well, that's tosh, because no man I've ever met will say he can personally handle a cold, because it's never just a cold, is it? It's always flu, it's COVID, or it could be something much worse. And they always put on a very weedy, thin, reedy voice when they're talking about their symptoms, and they walk around and their shoulders are hunched. And they do it, and I think, oh, here we go. It's just they can't. I mean, I say they can't help it. So there's been some research done. A Harvard study was done, and they said that men embellish their symptoms more than women, which is completely true.
Harvard.
And it also said that they adopt the role of helpless patient who has to depend on other people. Well, I know that to be true. If my husband's got a cold, well, I've got to run to the chemist and get everything. I've got to get, I take a Lemsip, or I have a throat lozenge in case I cough on telly, or doing this. He has to have everything. He has to have cough mixtures. He has to have Sudafed. He has to have.
He's obviously very smart as a strategist. He's going to attack that cold on all fronts.
And I'm running around like a you-know-what fly. Because he's got what I had the week before, So how do you handle a cold?
Pretty much as you just said.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because because you know that your partner is going to sympathise with you if you're going to get looked after.
She will. She'll take care of me.
Yeah, see, that's the thin, reedy voice that you guys do. And I'd really like... I think I could handle a curry. Could you go out and get me a curry? I think I could have that. And maybe a beer. Maybe I think I could get that down.
A couple of margarita cocktails.
Pathetic.
No ice, no salt.
There's some ridiculous research that says estrogen. It's done by a Canadian scientist, so I'm dismissing it. But he says that it's estrogen helps with the viral load. It helps fight off the viral load.
So once again, women are being treated differently to men.
No,
Well, there you go then.
Oh yeah, but then we have to have the babies as well, and we have to have periods, and we have to have menopause. So yes, so all those hormones like estrogen, they're not all positive. Trust me on that.
But you're totally right. Disbelieve anything that a Canadian scientist says.
Well, I think so. And anyway, he only tested it on mice, and men aren't mice. Although with a cold, you are.
Of mice and men, Carole. Of mice and men.
Exactly.
Well, a fantastic episode, Cass.
That
Thanks
was
for
good
joining.
fun, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was fun.
Yes. Now, I've got this chest infection, and you must let me know whether you have it next week. Do let me know.
I think I'm already getting a bit sick.
Oh, good.
I think I'm already getting
Excellent.
Excellent.
Couldn't be happier.
Thank you, Carole Malone, for spreading your virus. And thank you for watching today's Daily Expresso. Like, share, comment, and hit the hype button. Helps raise us up. Thank you and bye-bye.